Welcome back to a new season of Secure the Seat Live. My name is Minda Hartz. If you have never been with us before, welcome. If you have been rocking with us on Mondays at noon, then you already know the vibes. I'm back. I'm refreshed. I've had about a month off from doing the show, and let me tell you, I needed it because you can't secure your seat if you don't have some rest. You know, rest is revolutionary, and so I hope that if you haven't had a chance to get some, that you get some in your life today. And so what have you been up to? Tell us in the chat. I know it's been a little bit. Have you gone back and listened to past episodes, watched past episodes? I know sometimes things hit a little bit differently when you hear them a second and third time. But today I'm excited because we just have a great season ahead for you this year, and we have some fun things coming down the pipeline. But today I'm really excited about our show because I have a friend who I've known for many years, Sheena Allen. If you don't know her, you're definitely going to want to follow her on all the places and support. She is a CEO. She's a founder of CapWay. She is a serial entrepreneur. I've had the pleasure of her riding with her from a small town in Mississippi to Jackson. We've had some time together. You know, we've shared stages together. And so it's just been a pleasure to watch her rise and build her empire. And a lot of us who've been doing our work for many, many years, it's just nice when you see your sisters in those spaces that they always should have been, and even more to come. And so I believe in giving Black women their flowers while they're living. And so I definitely want to give Sheena hers today. And so again, I'm happy that you're here because you can be anywhere on the internet and you're here with us. And so thank you for continuously showing up every Monday here on LinkedIn. And I know you watch us on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. Last thing is we're about to jump back into school season. So if you have a young adult in your life, it's a great time for you to purchase You Are More Than Magic. That is my third book, my young adult book. And so as we get back into school, let's make sure that our young adults have the tools they need so that they don't have to question if they belong. They belong in every space. And so we want to affirm them. And because many of you know, me and my brothers, we work together, but my partner in shine here on the show, Mike Hartz, I have a shirt that I wanted to wear for him just to remind him I am the favorite child in case he ever doubts it. Although in my head, I might be the favorite child, but I don't know that I think he might be the favorite child, him and my brother, but that's debatable. So anyway, without further ado, we're going to bring today's guest to the stage, CEO and founder of CapWay, Sheena Allen. Hey, Sheena.
Hi.
How are you?
You know, another day, another blessing. I have no complaints.
Amen, amen, amen. Listen, for those who may not be familiar with your work, tell everybody just a little bit more about you.
Yeah, so I am the founder and CEO of CapWay. We are a financial technology company, also known as fintech. Started out mainly focused on digital banking, but now I would say we've kind of moved to the space of saying we're more of an inclusive financial system. And our goal is building products and services that gets people to being financially healthy through financial access and opportunities.
Ooh, I love that. You're already giving us tambourine moments because financially healthy is important. Being healthy. We haven't always been conditioned and with the tools and resources to have healthy finances. I know for me, I was always like scared to make money, or scared to do this because I, come from very humble beginnings. And so I had to learn, and I'm still learning, some financial literacy. But one of the things that I love about the work that you've been doing is you are helping us, Black individuals, people of color, those on the margins, create legacy. And what does legacy building mean to you as it pertains to closing the wealth gap for our community?
I'll say in one word for me, it's ownership. We've created forever. And a lot of times our creations have been stolen from us. But I think closing that racial wealth gap, a lot of it's going to come down with ownership. Because once you own something, there's people who own, for example, like a trademark, and somebody can license that, or they can license infrastructure. When you own something, that's when you start really getting that money. But knowledge is a big piece of that. We always say a lot of people just don't know what they don't know. So knowledge, information, access, opportunities. And all of that, to me, bundled up, it comes down to true ownership.
That's a word. Everybody in the chat, just put ownership. Even if you may not feel like you own anything, let's put it out into the atmosphere. Okay, we're speaking to owners this week, okay, and this month and this year. So make sure that you are thinking through about what that is. And if you are already like marinating on what's been said today, go to Sheena's sites, go to CapWay.com, go to SheenaAllen.com. We're going to drop them in the chat so you can stay, we don't just end with the resources here on Secure the Seat. We keep it going. It's a lifestyle, y'all. So get into it. The other question I have for you, Sheena, is I watched an interview with you and you mentioned that over 63 million people are unbanked or underbanked. What does that mean? That it like blew my mind when I was hearing you talk about it. So can you talk about how you're working to solve this issue?
Yeah, so the definitions off top. Unbanked means you do not have a bank account at all. No type of access to, not just access, you just, maybe it's your choice, but you don't have a bank account in any way. Underbanked means that you actually have a bank account, but you're relying on alternative financial services outside of just that bank account. So maybe you have a bank account with, I don't know, your credit union, but you're still going to get a payday loan from somewhere else, or you're still using the predatory economy to some degree, or you're looking for alternative service other places outside of what you can get from, your bank itself. So a lot of people have bank accounts, but that does not mean that they're securely banked across the board. So you have unbanked, and then you have underbanked. Unbanked, underbanked, so it depends on what data you look at. Some people say it's as small of a number, which is not really small. As small of a number as 25 million. And some people say it's up to, 60, 70 million. Everybody's data is a little bit different. My personal opinion is a lot of people are way more underbanked than they would label themselves. It's kind of like people labeling themselves underserved. Most people are never going to label themselves underserved. Most people in America is going to label themselves as middle class, and this, even if they're like barely making, I'm getting by, but like, no, I'm middle class. I think we've been conditioned to think that way as Americans in general, but there's a lot of people who unbanked, underbanked, underserved. I tell people all the time, you can make six figures, but if you make 100K and you spend 100K, like, you're still living paycheck to paycheck. There's still some issues that's going on in there. So those just are definitions of unbanked and underbanked. And one way that we're working personally for myself, I grew up in Mississippi. So Mississippi is number one for unbanked and underbanked residents per capita. So it's a personal thing for me because I've seen my grandparents, my great grandparents keep their money in their homes versus in banks. And that, of course, goes to the mission of what CapWay is. The name itself stands for a new way of doing capital. And one of our main missions is, one, getting people banked if they are unbanked. But the second piece of that, kind of as I mentioned earlier, is once we get you banked, then what? So that's why CapWay is about an inclusive financial system of building products and services that even once you have that bank account, there's so many other pieces: financial education, investing, and however that looks to you. It's so many different pieces that it takes a lot to get to that full puzzle, and we want to provide the puzzle pieces that's building that puzzle. But that's the work that we're doing in the space of unbanked and underbanked.
Ooh, I love that so much. As you were talking, I was just thinking about even my financial journey. I grew up too seeing relatives put their money under the mattress, right? and that was the savings. Baby, go get my 20 underneath the mattress. That was what I was used to doing and seeing. And then eventually, you get into corporate America or wherever you're at, and you realize, oh, I actually need a bank account and all these other things. And I didn't even get a credit card till I was like 30 years old, And so there's so much that you just don't know, because I was always told, don't get a credit card because you'll go in debt. And then, but not having the resources and the tools, you realize in order to get an apartment or these sorts of things, you need some of this established.
My dad was a firm believer that if you can't afford it, you need to buy it. So he was all about just having a debit card, just having money at the house, $20 here, $50 here. So he was very much that guy, that person who was like, if I can't afford to swipe my card and buy it right now, or if I can't take the money out of my pocket and buy it right now, I don't need it. I can't afford it. So he was really big on not getting a credit card. But now I tell people, credit cards will put you in debt if you don't use them the correct way. If you're paying the minimum balance, it will definitely put you in debt. But I use credit cards, but I use one in particular. And I'll say this, I use mine to the point where, like, come December, I'll take all my reward points I'll cash them in, and I actually buy all of my friends and family Christmas gifts off of the reward points that I've built up over the years. So they can be actually very beneficial. There's a lot of great perks to them if you use them the correct way.
I love that you said that. You're dropping all kinds of gems, because I think in the Black community, Black and brown, sometimes we just don't know, like you said, what we don't know. And for someone who's on the fence about, maybe they've been putting their money under the mattress or in their shirt or wherever they're putting it, in the jar in the kitchen, that you could get a credit card that's helpful. And it also made me think about, me and one of my girlfriends were going to see Usher later this year, and it's residency in Vegas. And she's like, "Oh girl, let me put it all on my Amex because I get all these points and things and blah, blah, blah." I'm like, say less.
And that's the thing. People make big purchases and they're put on their debit card, or they're pulling out money from the ATM. It's like, no, like get the perks that putting it on your credit card. But once again, it takes discipline. It does take discipline. And sometimes it takes a while to work your way up to that. But once you're disciplined, once you know I need to pay off this statement every month, credit cards actually super beneficial. And also it goes towards your credit score. So
that part, and we already know how important that is. So, but there's a question that came in the chat is, we hear, I'm paraphrasing, but we hear a lot, Sheena, about financial literacy. What does that really mean? Because I guess it is kind of a buzzword, right? But when you break it down, what is that really?
It is definitely a buzzword, and I'm not a fan of buzzwords. To me, financial literacy is knowledge around money, but I think the thing that we miss is financial literacy is a bridge over to personal finance, and personal finance is just that, it's personal. It's not a one size fits all. And I think that we get caught up in this world, like financial literacy being like one size fits all across the board. Now, there's some basic things in financial literacy that I think is common for every single person. But then the other side of that journey is it is about personal finance. So like something that works for you may not work for me. There's some general rule of thumbs, but it's a little bit different for everybody. But to me, it's not just the knowledge of money, it's also your relationship with money. How are you going to decide to go about handling the money that you have, and how do you determine to grow your money? I always tell people there's 3 steps when I think financial literacy. There's about getting money, there's about keeping money, and then there's about growing money. A lot of us know how to get money, even if like we're hustling and working 4 or 5 jobs. Like a lot of us know how to get money. A lot of us know how to keep money. We'll save it forever. But if anything, inflation is teaching us now, even if we're not as literate, is that the same $100 you had last year, it's not going to buy you the same things that you're going to get that $100 for right now. So a lot of us know how to keep money, but that third step, that growing money, it's a part that, especially in the Black and brown community, we haven't got to step 3. And to me, that's why I think the financial literacy piece is bridging the knowledge of money with the use of money, but also to the personal finance.
Oof, preaching on this Monday, Sheena. And I want that for all of us. That's why it was important for me to have you on the show, because, we're halfway through the year and you can grow that money still, right, Sheena?
Whether you're talking investing in real estate, which I know the housing market right now is or whether we're talking about investing in the dip of the stock market right now. And there's other ways to invest. Are you investing in yourself? I mean, you invest in yourself by creating, the books that you've written and what you're doing now on Secure the Seat. Like, this was an investment in yourself that said, hey, I'm going to build my personal brand, but I'm also going to make money in building my personal brand while also helping other people. There's so many ways to invest, but it's never too late, never too early, nor never too late to invest.
I love that. And since we're talking about financial literacy and we know the importance of it, you gave us the steps. I hope you all wrote it down, or you run it back on the replay so that you can write those steps down again. But how can people get involved, support CapWay, and just connect with you?
Yeah, so number one, definitely download the app in the App Store or the Google Play Store. If you're that person that's like, I have no more room on my phone, or I refuse to download any more apps, you can check us out on our website at capway.com. Definitely sign up for a money account. One thing that I'm super transparent about is I understand that right now, especially the digital banking space, is pretty competitive. There's so many. I also people at this point, you can get a bank account, a debit card anywhere. I feel like you go down the street and somebody's offering a debit card, in 2022. So I know, like, as far as that, you can get a debit card anywhere. But what I say makes CapWay different, how we support us, is even if you don't bank with CapWay, as I say, the products and services that we're building, that we're offering, you still can transact with us. You still can support us. You still can work with us, even if you don't bank with us. I would love for you to have a CapWay debit card, but even if you don't, there are a lot of things that we do within CapWay on CapWay that you still can be involved and support us, and also, learning money at the same time.
I love that so much. Quick question I see in the chat, Sheena. What do you think about parents signing up and getting their kids a CapWay debit card? Is that a good place to start, perhaps?
So currently we only do 18 plus. So you have to be 18 and older. We don't do authorized or custodial accounts, as they're called now. We have thought about getting into them mainly because I have so many nieces and nephews who needs to be on CapWay, because I'm tired of them calling me for V-Bucks for Fortnite. But right now we do 18 plus, but we have looked into doing custodial accounts, because we do have a lot of parents, honestly, that ask us those questions around that. But I think teaching your kids in general, teaching your kids money in whatever way that you're doing it, teaching them young is really, really important. And I don't just say that, I live it. Once again, I have lots of nieces and nephews, and yeah, my nephew right now owes me $5, and he thinks he's going to get away with it. But the next time I see him, he's going to have to come up off that $5 one way or another, because he used $4.99 on my card for the PlayStation.
That part. But listen, everybody go over to capway.com, sign up, get involved, support what Sheena and her company is doing, because it's important that we bank with our own too. And I know that's a whole nother conversation, but we'll drop in Sheena's information personally, and her personal site and her business site. So make sure that you follow her on all the places. And I just love this conversation. I love how you are investing in our community and our legacy and our generation. So thank you. Before we get out of here, a couple house cleaning items. A new season, we're still asking our guests. I am a lover of grits and rap lyrics, Sheena. And so I have to ask, I know you grew up in the South. How do you like your grits?
Butter, just butter. I just give me like butter grits. And I don't like instant. I will do instant if I have to, but like give me like some real grits and some salt, some pepper, and some butter. I don't do sugar. I have a lot of friends and family who put sugar in their grits. I don't do sugar, but salt, pepper, some good butter. Yeah, but I do love grits. Love grits.
Well, next time I see you, we're in the South, you have to take me to a good grit spot. But I love grits. My family is from New Orleans, so my grandmother.
Grits, right? You eat grits. Okay, just making sure.
Yes, I eat them, and I don't eat them with sugar. I eat them with salt and butter. I know how to eat my grits. I don't know about the rest of the world, but the other part that goes good with a good bowl of grits with salt and butter is a good rap lyric. What is one of your favorite rap lyrics, and why?
So I am a huge Jay-Z fan. Now I was going to honestly give a old Kanye lyric, but I'm going to go with a Jay-Z lyric. Worst drug known to man is stronger than heroin. When you can look in the mirror like, there I am, and still not see what you become. I know I'm guilty of it too, but not like them. He's talking about fame. So I think a lot of us get so caught up in it and wanting to do, I think, to me, I want to be a person of the people in a way of like community. But I love that lyric because I think it's so deep in so many ways. But he's talking about the worst drug known to man is fame. Want to be famous, want to be seen, whether we're talking about celebrity famous, whether we're talking about social media famous. And I think my personal opinion, I think a lot of us have gotten lost in that. I always say I think everybody's gonna need a therapist in the next few years. But I just love Jay-Z. But that's by far one of my favorite lyrics. So just talking about the drug of fame.
I love Jay too, and I'm glad that you use that, because I think we just need to be reminded of what really matters, right? In our lives, and it's that inner work, right? Being right within. And I do agree, everybody needs a therapist, a life coach, a pastor, somebody you can talk to.
Pandemic, social media, just the quarantine in general, just 2022, the last election. I just think we just all need a nice therapist.
Listen, we all need a soft place to land, each and every one of us. Everybody's going through something, none of us have come out of this pandemic. It's still going on. You got one monkeypox, you got this, you got that. And so definitely get you some support in the ways that you need. My last question is, every one of us are leaders. We don't need a blue check. We don't need 100 followers. We can all at any point activate our leadership. For those watching and all our leaders, Sheena, what's one thing you would tell them that they could do to make the workplace better than we found it?
Do your part. I think that a lot of times we underestimate how important our part is, because sometimes we feel like we're not the CEO, maybe we're the janitor, but if you don't do your part, I gotta smell stinky garbage, and that's gonna mess up my day. So I think the old saying of like, I treat the CEO with the same respect I treat the janitor, or I treat the janitor with the same respect I treat the CEO. I think as leaders, even if you think your role is small, it's not. Everybody plays a role in an ecosystem, and your leadership in your part is super important, even if you think it's not.
Every moment, that is it. We all have a part to play, and I hope that as you go into this new week that you'll think about, what role can I play? You don't have to wait for the one-on-one. You don't have to wait for the annual review. You get to do it today. You just have to decide how you're going to do it. And so, Sheena, always a pleasure seeing your face. I hope I get to see it in real life one day soon, but we'll take it for next.
So hopefully when I'm in LA, we can get together.
Yes,
quick funny story about LA. I went to LA. I ordered some shrimp and grits because he talked about grits. And the guy heard my Southern accent, and he's from New Orleans. And he said, "Are you from the South?" I said, "Yes, I'm from Mississippi." He's like, "You don't want these shrimp and grits." So that's my LA story for shrimp and grits.
You know, I've been hard pressed to find a good one, so I just make my own. So I do have the instant on those quick days, but I also have that hardcore box, you know, where I got to take a little time and stir it up. And the best grits I found in LA are in my kitchen. But pleasure seeing you, and thank you for being on Secure the Seat.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, that was just a great episode. I hope you will go to CapWay.com. I hope you will go to SheenaAllen.com, because you already know I don't have to convince you. She's changing the world. She's helping our community, and let's be a part of it. You know, one of the things Sheena said was do our part. So go click on the site, be supportive. Our success is not a solo sport, so we can't just be good over here. We have to make sure that everybody else is. So before we get out of here for today, it's a new month. We have a new affirmation, and so I'm going to bring Mike up to the stage so that he can give us today's affirmation.
So, Minda.
Hey, wasn't today's show great?
Man, you guys killed it. Amazing show.
Well, you know, when Sheena was talking, I thought about, you know, you have two sons, my nephews, my babies, and they love money. When I seen them last, they were like, I need some bobs. Talk to us about bobs, Michael.
Yeah, anytime my sons, I always ask them, how much money do you make? And they say, I made a few bob. So I don't know what that means, but it seems like a lot of money. They know what it means. It's their language. They said they make a lot of bob. So yeah.
They're speaking, they're manifesting. So when I seen them, I'm like, you know what? I need to buy something. I need 5 bobs. They're like, I need it's so funny. And they just run around the house. I got bobs. Give me my bobs. And so they're already learning.
You know, and my oldest, he always goes, he's 4. He always goes, he has these fake fruits and vegetables, and he sets up his shop and starts selling them to everybody. And we ask him, how much is a banana? He goes, $100. It's so expensive. he tells you it's very expensive. At least he tells you. At the store, they just gouge you. They don't even tell you how expensive it is. So he understands inflation. So.
He gets that high maintenance life from his Aunt Mimi. So he knows we need bobs to keep up with this lifestyle. Okay. What is today's what is the month? This month we're in a new month, Michael. I'm feeling good. What's the affirmation?
Absolutely. I think a lot of times we say statements like, I feel like something bad is happening, or I could feel like something's going wrong. And the affirmation for August is, I feel my help coming. I feel my peace coming. I feel my joy coming. We have to speak to ourselves what we want to feel. And the more we speak to ourselves, then those internal feelings will come out and start to manifest in the natural. So This month's affirmation is I feel my help coming. Anytime you feel like something's going wrong, you have to erase and cancel those thoughts. I feel my peace coming. I don't care what it looks like, what it sounds like, the news they gave you, what they told you. I feel my help is coming. We have to grab onto that. This world is crazy. There's so much stuff going on. We're talking about finances today, but there is just so much stuff going on, from finances to wars to racism to hatred to bigotry. There's so much going on. So if no one else speaks to you, no one else is coming to help you to speak to you every day. You have to speak to yourself. I feel like my help is coming. Thank you, Minda.
Listen, today has been just a great episode. We can help ourselves, and we know that help is coming. And so I don't know what you're going through this week. Maybe it's a great day, but maybe by Friday you might feel differently. But remind yourself that my help is coming. And so again, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for tuning in for a new season. You already know the vibes. We kicking off real hot in here with all the stuff. So hold on to your affirmation. Go check out CapWay.com, and we'll see you next Monday at noon. Keep securing your seat.